Good afternoon. Today we are in a field of double crop soybeans. This is our September scouting video for soybeans. And a couple of insect pests that we need to watch out for even in early and mid-September on double crop beans. Stink bugs, they tend to pile up in double crop beans. They're starting to leave corn. Corn's getting harvested. They're looking for other places. Also, we're getting close to the equinox, so this is when stink bugs are putting in their very last generation that will overwinter into next season. So they're looking for something good to put that last generation into. Soybean looper. It is a sporadic pest for us this far north, but this year we've been seeing high looper populations at the research station, higher than usual, and we were getting close to one per sweep about 2 weeks ago. They will defoliate beans. They don't feed on the pods. Prior to R6, R6.5, that defoliation can cause yield loss. The other pest that we still need to be mindful of is podworm. The odds of a significant podworm infestation are going down, but you may still have a trickling and a smattering of podworm in a field. So this field here, we've got a very high level of looper activity along the edge, probably 200, 300 feet. Ben, take a look at these leaves here. Threshold is 20% defoliation. Now that's a conservative threshold, but let's pull up a plant and take a look at it real quick. So when estimating defoliation, I like to take a few plants and kind of calibrate my eyes for the total overall canopy. Some insects like Japanese beetles will defoliate the top leaves only. Loopers, however, start around the mid canopy, and here's one right here. That's a big one. This looper here still has about 2 leaves worth of feeding to do before he cycles out. So this leaf here, maybe 5%. This leaf here, if I imagine all of these little holes are in one spot, we probably have about 30% on that trifoliate. This trifoliate, probably about 25%. Look here, we got 2 loopers on this leaf. And both of them still have a lot of feeding left in them. This trifoliate, as it currently stands, we're probably at about 30%. This one here, maybe a little bit more than 30%, maybe 40%. Same with this. 30, 25, 25. So I'd say on average, we're probably around 25-ish% defoliation, maybe a touch more. Now our defoliation thresholds are conservative. 20% does not mean you're going to lose yield, but it's a level of concern that you can lose yield, and we still have some defoliation potential just on those loopers there. I'm going to go ahead and sweep the field though. Looper products tend to be expensive, and they tend to be specific. We're talking products like Steward, Intrepid Edge, Radiant, Blackhawk. Those are all going to run at least $3.50 to $4 an ounce or greater. I think Radiant is close to a $70 application. So we're going to sweep, see what we have. 1, 2, 3. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm only sweeping this edge. I don't usually get too excited by the edge. I want to be in the field interior. It's one thing to recommend an insecticide on the edge, but what does the field interior look like? Things like stink bugs tend to concentrate on the edge, and then their numbers really drop off as you go into the field interior. Ben and I have already swept this field. We've been out here at least an hour sweeping. So I kind of have a good idea of what's going on, and I will let you in on that little secret here in just a sec. Let's take a look at the sweep net. 1 grasshopper, 2 grasshoppers. This is a brown marmorated stink bug. Bifenthrin is the best material in brown marmorateds and browns. That's a lot of loopers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 32 loopers. I tell you what, I have never seen this many loopers in a sweep net in soybeans before. This is a one-spotted stink bug. It's a very uncommon species in our complex. What did I say, 32? Mm-hmm. This here's a harlequin bug. They're not feeding on soybeans. These are brassica specialists. We probably had some old mustards in the ditch bank here, and they don't know what to do with themselves. They feed on leaves too. They don't feed on pods. This is a brown stink bug nymph. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. This here is a spine soldier bug. This is a beneficial. And you can tell it's got sharp shoulder spines. It's got this rectangular black spot right on the very end of the wing. And its mouth part looks like a little dagger for piercing other insect exoskeletons. I have lost count on my looper population.
45.
45, 46, 47, 48. Let's call it 50 and be good on that one. Here's an earworm. All right. So roughly 50 soybean loopers and 15 sweeps. 1 podworm and 15 sweeps. I think of a threshold as about 3. But we also had 3 stink bugs. Threshold on stink bugs is 5. So we're at about 1/3 of a threshold on podworm and about 1/2 a threshold on stink bug. Together you've got about 80-90% of your pod feeding guild threshold. We've got to get rid of the loopers on this side of the field. Now, like I said, we've already swept the rest of this field. We've got the looper population really drops off next to levels of no concern. This is highly unusual. But our podworm counts do tick up a bit. We've got small podworms and medium-sized podworms. And our stink bugs are unusually consistent across this field at about 2 and 15 sweeps. And that's a mixture of green stink bugs, brown stink bugs, and brown marmorated stink bugs. So the question is, what do you do about this? That's a hard one. If you're going to go out with a besiege or an Elevest, you'll want to use the highest label rate because that product doesn't do a great job on loopers. We've got to take care of these loopers. In the field interior, either one of them will do just fine on podworms. We'll wipe the snot out of podworms with the low rates of either of those products. If we've got more brown marmorateds and browns, then I would lean more towards the higher rate of Elevest for the bifenthrin component. Talking with this farmer, they've got besiege on hand. I don't know what the price point difference is between besiege and Elevest, but it may be that adding in a little bit of sniper into a besiege will help just get the rest of those brown marmorated stink bugs. Kind of adding two pyrethroids there. Will that do the job on the loopers? Not at that count. I think we'll need something stronger. Maybe a mix of lanate. Denim is a good option if it was just loopers and earworms. It will zero out the loopers. Tends not to be very common around here and tends to be expensive. The vegetable equivalent of that is Proclaim, and that's a very expensive material in vegetables. Steward, it's expensive, and that's what's frustrating about loopers. There's no good, easy, surefire answer on them up here. So the bottom line is continue looking at your field. Once we move into the R6, R6.5 stage, those thresholds really do go up, and I don't really worry about insects once the leaves start turning yellow and the pods start turning yellow. But we're not quite there yet. So for your late planted soybeans, keep looking. We got to get that crop over the finish line.